All right, I'm back with Joe Yerdon. So the Sabres did not move up or down in with any of their three picks. Kevin Adams did say afterwards that he called about moving up with every pick. At least he made a call, whatever. I
Mhm.
don't know. Take that if what it's worth. But
Right.
anyway, at pick 9, I'm first of all, I'm pretty happy because the Sabres took three players that have semi-reasonable pronounceable names. I am absolutely horrible when it comes to hockey and names. It's absolutely embarrassing. But pick 9 was one of the guys that I actually did spend a good amount of time reading because Matthew Savoie, and I did say that right, correct,
Yes, you
Joe?
did. You nailed
How
it.
about that, Pat?
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
Yes, I did. But anyway, I read a lot about him because he was in the mix and he was a player. I watched some YouTube highlights. Again, I don't know these prospects well whatsoever. Like most people, I read Lance from the Buffalo News. I read a lot of the athletic stuff. I read NHL websites, prospect stuff. This guy is a player that seems to be a good fit for the Sabres. He's 5'9". By the way, all three of the draft picks tonight were all under 6 feet. Matt is 5'9", 175, shoots right-handed, played with Winnipeg in the WHL, 35 goals, 90 points in 65 games last year. So after the picks, what I started doing, Joe, is I started going to a couple websites and looking at where they were ranked before the draft. The Athletic Scott Wheeler had him ranked 4th overall in the draft. He was 4th on his board. NHL.com had him 4th among North American skaters. Sportsnet had him 6th. EliteProspects.com had him 9th. And of course, the famous Bob McKenzie, TSN, had him 9th. I want to get your thoughts on the pick. And he also, I want to read a tweet from the media scrum. This is what he said. He says, "I'm super excited to be a part of the Sabres organization. They have a ton of good young talent and veteran leadership. You can sense when a team likes you a little more than the others." And he said that a couple times, that he got a sense that he thought the Sabres liked him more than the others. So again, if you look at the pre-draft rankings, they kind of fall in line. I want to get your thoughts, and then I'm going to read an evaluation from the Athletic as well. But first, I want to get your thoughts on the pick.
Savoie was a guy that I had started hearing from some people. It was about like end of May, I want to say end of May, very beginning June, where Savoie had a very high profile as a guy, like scoring wise, speed wise, skill wise. Like he was a guy that ranked out as somebody who was going to be an exciting guy to draft. And I started hearing that like he might be there for Buffalo at 9, and I was like, okay, all right. Like if he's there at 9 or 16, like that would be that's a great guy to land because again, it's the exciting level of the talent and the ability and the pace of play that he plays with. Like those are all like these are all things that teams are in need of now. You look at the style of play the Avalanche do, where it's high octane, speed, skill, all that. Savoy's out of that mold. Like that's the way he likes to play. That's where he wants to be. So I really like the pick, and I like it because also very selfishly because I was like, that's got to be the guy. Like if he's there, I mean, weird stuff happening aside, like if he's the guy that's there, I think that's the guy you go for. Even with him not being, a 6 foot plus guy, like whatever. You don't. So many guys have proven you don't need to be a giant to have a lot of success in the league. Johnny Gaudreau's
I heard some Braden Point comparisons on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, production wise, yeah. Like I think that's not a bad guy to compare to. But like, I mean, if he turns out to be a Braden Point style player, holy smokes, man! Like that's an unbelievable addition. But his profile and the way that he plays the game, man, like it's another guy that offers an element that the Sabres need a little bit more of. And has maybe a little bit more to him than say, other guys that are similar that they've got, like Isaac Rosén, kind of similar mold. I think Rosen's more of a winger than a center. And Savoie, listen, he started as a center, again, ended up being a winger anyways, whatever, it's fine. But I mean, he's a guy that, they scouted very well. They asked Peyton Krebs about him. Krebs played in Winnipeg in junior hockey. So, It's a guy they got to know a lot about, through a lot of different routes. So it's a pick that I really like for them. I think it's just a really smooth pickup. He's a guy that's, like I said, he's going to offer an element that they need elsewhere in the lineup. And yeah, you don't have to push him to the NHL right away. Like I think that's the main thing. Like you pick a guy like this now, 4 or 5 years ago, you're like, can he play right away? Can we get him on the second line right away? Now you're just kind of like, no, play another year in Winnipeg, play another year, play 2 years in Winnipeg, then go to Rochester, and then we'll get you figured out from there. But I mean, he put up some great numbers last year, 90 plus points in 60 whatever games.
Yeah.
Just a stupidly good season. So I like him. I like that pick quite a bit.